There was no way it was going
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. A familiar face.
Zo even kijken. Wat? Wel hoor.
Kijk wel van jou in.
You have the camera. You have the camera. You want me to take a picture of you?
He's here. This is my wife. Penny. Penny.
Oh, you got those.
How are you? Penny.
Oh, it is lovely. Very nice.
I could do something.
I give together with the decoration because can play it and it is short. And after that, I give you this.
So 100
And also Prince Bergen
Yes.
was very active with us. He along with Canadian Germany. 15 years after the war.
Is dat niet zo? Hij moet hier vandaan.
You're most welcome.
Danny, maar alles interessant.
It was a rainy day. The day of the liberation of our city, Bergen op Zoom. Coming from the Bergen, the tanks of the South Alberta Regiment came into this street, the Sand Street at that time, supported by the soldiers of the Lincoln and Welland Regiment. The tanks of the South Alberta were situated here in the street before they captured the city to liberate our town. And there were two groups. One group goes left, one group go right. And the group go right was the first person was my good friend Danny MacLeod. 89 at the moment. And I understand for him it's a privilege to be here in Bergen op Zoom and special in the Canadalaan to celebrate with us the Liberation Day of our country, but also to give us the opportunity to bring thanks to our Canadian liberators. Danny MacLeod, he goes into the city along the guardhouse 13. The guardhouse 13 is also the name of the music group who will support here this happening. And there's also another music group, the family Franke, who will take care for the background music. I welcome you all. But first, the Canadians who are coming from overseas to celebrate with us this important moment of the liberation of our country, but also important situation of the liberation of our beautiful city. I told the people of Canada, but they know it, that they are now in the most beautiful city of the world. and when we are here in the Canadalaan, from respect to the Canadian liberators, the city council made the name after the war not Bergen for this part of the street, but Canadalaan. Welcome to you all. Welcome to the Canadian guests. And welcome also to the people of the Canadalaan who organized under the supervision of my good friend Paul Versyp. Paul Versyp only appointed as a new honorary member of the South Alberta Regiment. And please give him an applause again. What are we doing before we have the lunch? Before the lunch, I now go introduce the deputy mayor of our city, Mr. Ton Linse. I give him the word. Ton, ik go for you.
Dames en heren, als u me toestaat, zal ik nu in mijn beste Engels de heer MacLeod en de Canadese gasten toespreken. Dus wellicht ook straks nog even in het Nederlands ook bij u terugkomt. The Council of the Municipality of Bergen op Zoom welcomes all of you, in particular the members of the Canadian delegation. As we see today, there is a very close bond between Canadian liberators and the city of Bergen op Zoom. This bond has existed for many years now. It is based on the commitment of the Canadian people during World War II and the sacrifices made by its soldiers to end the terror of the Nazi regime in Europe. The citizens of Bergen op Zoom are still very grateful and will continue to remember. After 1945, we focused on reconstruction and the future. Life had to pick up its usual pace, and there was a little time to think about the horrors of the war. As from the 60s, the bonds between the liberators and the liberated became closer. In Bergen op Zoom, this also meant that the street was renamed Canadalaan. That is where we are now. It is a tribute to the liberators of our city. These visits led to close contacts between the councils and citizens of Bergen op Zoom and the liberators. In particular, the members of the South Alberta Regiment have often visited the city as a group. Mr. Danny MacLeod took the lead and felt supported by the other members of the regiment and their partners. Because of his commitment, a bond was forged that has not only lasted up to now, but we are even investigating how we may continue the contacts between Bergen op Zoom and the South Alberta Regiment in the future. We think it is important that people should be aware of their history, but also look behind the borders of their own community. Without short-changing others, the Municipal Council is aware that Mr. MacLeod initiated a lengthy and fruitful contacts. Due to his commitment, Bergen op Zoom is not just the next city that was liberated by the Canadians during the 1944 campaign. Indeed, Bergen op Zoom bond that links to the city of Bergen op Zoom and Canada. These contacts are indeed the result of your marriage during World War II, but your personal commitment has forged this strong bond between Canada and Bergen op Zoom. The city of Bergen op Zoom feels very privileged. You can truly be described as a dedicated ambassador of Bergen op Zoom over the years. To us, you are a standard bearer as a spokesman for all the Canadian veterans of World War II. You also made sure that the contacts with the city of Bergen op Zoom will be strengthened. Yeah. As a person, you can contribute actively to remembering the lessons that may be learned from World War II and the values of peace and freedom that are also important today and in the future. The municipality of Bergen op Zoom is so very grateful to you. That is why the Council of the Municipality of Bergen op Zoom have decided to award the honorary Medal of the Municipality of Bergen op Zoom to you for your merits. Dames en heren. In mijn beste Engels heb ik geprobeerd duidelijk te maken, ik ga ervan uit dat u weet dat het hier gaat om een benoeming tot ereburger van Bergen op Zoom te benoemen, de heer Danny MacLeod. Please step forward to accept the decorations of this honor.
Mr. MacLeod?
Ja. We zullen ook met die kant op gaan. And to our good friend.
This side. Please, sir.
We shall also do the other side. Lukt het niet?
Okay.
Ja?
One more, one more. Perfect.
Award, you have to do. So you can live on a nice place. Good health. Good health.
Thank you.
Danny, before you do that,
One moment.
can we get you guys to flip around here?
Mag hij wat zeggen?
Niet aan. approximately 7,000 Canadians lost their lives in Holland. And the reason we come back is to honor you, because you not only remember our war dead, you revere them and you honor them. This is something that Canada really hasn't learned. And the reason is very simple. Canada's never been bombed, never been invaded, never gone hungry. So they don't realize what liberty and freedom is all about. You understand it beautifully. And it's a great honor for veterans to come back to Holland, and in particular Bergen op Zoom, because you have received the veterans with open arms. The Prince Bernhard has commissioned Albert Hartkamp to dispense millions of dollars supporting the veterans coming back to Holland. And our numbers are getting smaller and smaller, but I want you to know, when we first come in here, the reaction of the crowd, grandmothers with aprons on, waving their appreciation, tears down their cheeks, I'll never forget it. This was the first major Dutch city that we liberated. It is also, along with Steenbergen, the two key areas that had to be liberated before the Scheldt could be opened down to Antwerp to become the lifeline of the forces, American, British, and Canadian. And so, with the great friends that I have met here, who have been made honorary members of the regiment, they keep us abreast of what's going on. They are so loyal to the regiment, and I just can't say enough to support those people who support the regiment. And I notice out in the crowd a soldier from the Princess Irene Brigade. A lot of people don't realize that they soldiered with us, with the Canadian Army, under the Canadian Army, and I would like to salute those from the Princess Brigade that are here today. So in closing, my dear friend Piet van Dyk, and now an assistant with Paul, the flame will be kept going for a long while yet. To each and every one of you, thank you very kindly. This is a home away from home. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Officieel moment van een kranslegging. Official moment for wreath laying near to that little house. I will ask you to go to that side of the street so that you can follow the wreath laying.
Back up.
Back, one,
Up to the top.
and turn right.
Right.